Have you ever met someone that looked years younger than they actually were without having undergone any cosmetic procedures? I know, I hear it all the time. Well, anyway, a new study found these women share a similar gene expression, but the good news is anyone can look ageless with the right lifestyle choices and skincare habits. Dermatologist Dr. Elizabeth Hale joins us now to share the findings. Hi, doctor, how are you?
I'm great, Jerry. Thanks for having me.
All right, so this is a pretty interesting study. Tell us about your findings.
So this recent study was conducted by Olay Skincare in conjunction with Harvard Medical School, as well as 23andMe, which is a personal genetics company. And they found that there are indeed women that seem to age slower. These exceptional skin agers express the genes differently. So we all have these genes, but there is a specific pattern of gene expression that was common among these women that appeared to age slower than the rest of us.
Wow.
They looked at over 350 women from 4 different ethnicities, spanning about 6 decades of life. And they found that these women sort of passed through the aging steps and the paths that we all go through, but at a much slower level. The good news, as you mentioned, is they found that there are certain lifestyle choices and some basic skincare habits that anyone can adhere to, and this will help you whether or not you are genetically blessed.
Right, because a lot of women probably don't have this unique pattern so that they don't have this sort of built-in agelessness, if you will. So that makes a lot of people resort to drastic measures, doesn't it?
Yes, there is definitely a big increase in non-invasive cosmetic procedures, many of which I do perform in my office. But the key here is to really educate women and men that there are some things that we can do to slow down the process and perhaps, stave off the need for that type of intervention. So first and foremost, just as far as general skincare, the most important thing I recommend is wearing daily sunscreen 365 days a year. So whether or not it's sunny, it's really important to do because we know that that's the #1 means of aging the skin is exposure to the sun. Also things like eating well, eating a diet that's rich in colorful foods, which contain a lot of natural antioxidants, hydrating, drinking those 8 glasses of water, and trying to get 8 hours of sleep. But in addition to that, I like to recommend products that I trust. Based on the study that Olay conducted, they have identified key ingredients that help to slow down this aging process. So, for example, in Olay Regenerist Microsculpting Cream, there are key ingredients that can help to slow down the aging process and make our skin appear younger.
All right, well, good information, Dr. Hale. And for more information?
So for more information about the study and products, one can visit olay.com.
All right, Dr. Elizabeth Hale, thanks so much for being with us. Cindy, over to you.
It is time to eat, drink, and be merry. And from food to fun, lifestyle expert Michelle Yarn joins us with some ideas to help you celebrate. So hi, Michelle, where do we start?
Hey there, you know what? The kitchen is the heart of the home, so let's start right here. It's the place everybody tends to gather, right? We're all talking and eating and drinking and inevitably adding some wear and tear to our counters.
Well, true. That's a given with all the entertaining happening this time of year.
Yeah, it really is. So that is why I recommend you protect your granite counters and other natural stone surfaces before the holiday hoopla. So this is a great product to try. You can use Granite Gold Daily Cleaner and Granite Gold Sealer to protect stone surfaces from stains and etches. And that Daily Cleaner is also perfect for cleanup after a party. And this Granite Gold Polish will really enhance luster and wow your guests. So head to granitegold.com for more on that and to find a store near you.
Well, while we're talking entertaining, it's always fun to enjoy some festive holiday cocktails. So what should we be making this year?
Absolutely. Take a look at what I've got here. For the holidays, it's all about cream cocktails. Now, Daly's Cocktails has just launched these new cream-based cocktails with alcohol already mixed in. They come in 3 flavors: horchata, cinnamon and cream, chocolate and cream, and salted caramel and cream.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. How do you prepare them?
Well, that's what's so great. It's all ready to go. So you can just pour and serve them over ice, warmed up. You could add them to a hot drink like your coffee, or have some fun with add-ins like we did here. You could use marshmallows or chocolate sauce, sprinkles, cinnamon sticks. There are some great recipes on their website at dailyscocktails.com.
I can't wait to try those. Okay, now from cocktails to cooking, what's your next idea?
So we're all indulging this time of year, but keep in mind nearly 90% of Americans eat too much sodium every day. So consider trying Salt for Life. This is a blend of potassium salt and sea salt, and it delivers 75% less sodium by replacing it with potassium, which is a nutrient many of us need more of.
Yeah, but how does that taste?
Well, Salt for Life is salt, so it tastes exactly the same as ordinary salt. You can use it in the same quantities, and it's great in recipes or just sprinkled right on top of your food. Plus, it's good for people of all ages, including kids. Just check out saltforlife.com for details and where to buy.
Well, most people treat their pets like family too, so how can we help them safely enjoy the holidays with us?
Yes, we can't forget about them, and you've got to be sure to keep an eye on those curious family pets. So during the hustle and bustle of the season, pets will inadvertently face more exposure to savory foods, decor, and poisonous items around the house. Common things like chocolate, tinsel, and mistletoe, those can all be toxic to animals. Now, Trupanion is the leading provider of pet health insurance, and they see a 25% increase in pet toxicity as your curious pets get into those things. So keep in mind, if an accident does happen and your pet is insured, they'll receive the best care, and the insurance can cover your veterinary bills. So you can head to Trupanion.com for more advice.
Now, for some people, the mere thought of the holidays can bring on stress.
That is true, and if that is you at home, then you'll want to pay attention to this next idea. Why not get away from it all? You can take the whole family and make holiday memories on a vacation.
Okay, what kind of trip did you have in mind?
You know, a luxury-included, family-friendly destination will do the trick. Beaches Resorts has 3 locations in Turks and Caicos and Jamaica, and they offer unlimited gourmet discovery dining, land and water sports, red lane spas, butlers, nanny service, and more. So you can really relax. And there's plenty for the kids to do. The Pirate Island Water Park, an Xbox Play Lounge, kids camps, teen nightclubs, and more. So head to beaches.com right now to book your vacation.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome. I'll see you guys next time.
We'll be right back. One of the busiest travel seasons is right around the corner, and I'm sure many of you are planning your trips now. But before you pack your bags, there are a few tips you should know about how to make your travel experience as pleasant as possible. Matt Phillips with AARP Services joins us now. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for having me today.
Our pleasure. So what are you learning about Americans' 2015 holiday travel plans?
Oh, well, one of the things that we're learning is that the 50-plus audience and most Americans are doing some of the traditional things, and they're going to visit friends and family, particularly their kids, their grandkids. That's just something that, you know, they typically generally like to do. Either they're traveling to visit them, or that their family and friends are traveling to visit them. And whereas most folks actually prefer to travel at off-peak seasons because it's a little bit less hectic and a lot of times there's a savings of money, there's still a lot of things that everyone, not just the 50-plus audience, can do to make the holiday travel as enjoyable as possible.
Well, you mentioned people age 50 and over. How do they tend to travel during the holiday season?
Sure. You know, a couple of different ways that we see. A lot are taking road trips. And we see that the 50-plus audience typically takes about 3 major road trips a year, and that's more than 9 hours away from their home. Between the Thanksgiving holiday and the end of the year at the New Year's holiday, they'll travel actually on average between 400 and 500 miles to either visit friends or family. They're also flying. They're either flying to visit their family and relatives, or folks are coming to visit them. So it's both ways. Both are enjoying travel.
Well, do you have any tips for 50 and older travelers as they plan these upcoming trips?
I do. For those who are actually driving, whether or not they're renting a car or they're actually using their own car, there's some things that they can do in advance. If you're renting a car, go ahead and make your reservations right now. AARP has some discounts through our relationships with Avis, Budget, and Payless. For those who are actually driving their own car, go ahead and think about some things ahead of time, like routine maintenance, things that you may not think of until you're either on the road or it's too late. Things like a routine oil change your wiper blades, have your tires changed. Another thing that I always recommend for those folks who are driving their own car is roadside assistance. AARP has an excellent relationship with Allstate, and there's a savings on roadside assistance. We also have some providers with whom we work that are listed on our website for car maintenance and routine car service as well. So for those folks who are actually flying, and who haven't booked their travel yet, the flights are generally going to be pretty full, but it's really not too late to book your travel. As long as you try to book at least 14 to 21 days out in advance, there's still some savings that can be found out there. Whereas a lot of folks who typically try to travel the day or two before, the major holidays, sometimes there's savings to be had if you can actually travel the day of the holiday or even several days in advance. And for those who haven't booked their air travel, we have a relationship with the AARP Travel Center powered by Expedia.
Okay, Matt Phillips, thank you very much for all that great advice. All right, Jerry, over to you.
It is time for Dollar Build with Dave Potter from Platinum Wealth Partners. Now, investing our money is something we should be doing earlier rather than later. How many times have we heard this, right? But do you need to alter how much you're investing based on your age? All right, Dave, these are interesting points because no matter what you say to a young person, no matter what you say, they're going to be like, live and let live, plenty of time before retirement.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. How much should somebody, let's say, who's 25 years old, should be contributing toward retirement, and will they do it?
You're right, it's difficult because when you're 25 and immortal, you're not really thinking about retirement. So, and I almost hate to bring up this topic because you don't want to take the wind out of someone's sails that hasn't started yet. And again, it's never too late. You can start tomorrow to build a plan.
Sure.
But we talked in an earlier episode, we talked about compounding.
Right.
Compounding provides a huge advantage to those people that start early. So to start at 25, even if it's a smaller amount, you could start with 100 a month, takes the load off later when you get into your 40s and 50s where you're really in that home stretch to retirement.
Right. And it's not, to say that you're going to put that $100 into, a bank savings account where it's going to get like less than 1% interest. You need to put it somewhere where it's going to maximize your interest, right? Right,
exactly. And for the 25-year-old, they have such a long time horizon. So let's say you're 25 and you want to retire at 65. And then let's say you're retired until 95.
Right.
You're talking about a 70-year period of time. If you go back 70 years in our current stock markets, you go through a lot of major corrections and crashes that no one thought we would recover from, but you would have averaged approximately 9% a year return. So you have a very long time.
That's substantial.
That's substantial.
Yes.
So, I like to compare two investors, one 25 and one 45.
Okay.
If both would like to retire at the age of 65 with $1 million, the 25-year-old can put in $500 a month. The 45-year-old would have to put in $2,100 a month to catch that same investor.
And who has that kind of money to invest?
Tough. It's tough. And the power of compounding, the real staggering numbers, the 25-year-old will contribute approximately $240,000 to generate $1 million. The 45-year-old would have to put in $550,000 to get to that same $1 million.
So obviously the lesson here is whatever you can contribute at as young an age as you can is going to be the smart way to go. But what if you are stuck now at age 50 or 55 and you're not, I've only got 10, 15 years to retirement. What do you do then?
Right, so that's, there's two components to that. Number one is hone in on what that number is going to be. What are you going to target for and be realistic? Secondly, you need to have an active plan. You need to have a process. You need to eliminate emotion, which is what we keep pounding on this show.
Right.
So it is time to really get serious and quarterly rebalance your portfolio and have a benchmark that you follow, that you're planning, whether it's 65 or 70, whenever you plan to draw that income, have that target date and quarterly review your progress to that target.
Great advice, Dave Potter, as always. All right, if you have questions for Dave, just head to his website, platinumwealthpartners.com, or give him a call at 800-595-1039. Always a pleasure, Mr. Potter.
Thank you, Jerry.
And we will be right back.
Presidential candidates are crisscrossing the country, campaigning that they're just like the rest of us. And you know what? They really are. Whether you're a candidate shaking hands or kissing babies or simply traveling for work and visiting family and friends, we're all going to encounter billions of germs over the next several weeks. So how can we protect ourselves? Microbiologist and germ researcher Dr. Charles Gerba, aka Dr. Germ, joins us with more. Okay, Dr. Gerba, we see political candidates shaking hands constantly. So why are our hands our worst enemies when it comes to staying healthy?
The reason hands are so important in transmitting germs is because every time you cough, sneeze, you'll get these on your hands, and then you can effectively transmit these cold and flu viruses to other people when you shake their hands, for example. I mean, presidential candidates are probably going to be shaking thousands of hands and probably getting billions of viruses on their hands in the process. So probably in terms of hand hygiene, it's really important to these candidates to use a hand sanitizer or wash their hands on a regular basis.
That's for sure. Okay, well, even if we're not running for office, what are some of the most common germ-spreading surfaces that we should avoid?
Yeah, really everybody runs a germ gauntlet every day without really realizing, because you can have viruses and colds and flus on a third of the surfaces you touch every day. And these include like ATM buttons, elevator buttons, particularly the first floor. Everybody's got to touch that to get out of a building, desktops, cell phones, any type of computer equipment. You'll get it on your hands. You're basically running a germ gauntlet every day without really realizing it. And the whole idea is to keep the odds in your favor and not in the germ's favor. But every once in a while, you're going to lose that gamble and you're going to get a cold or flu virus. And that's why it's really important this time of year to be prepared for that and have on hand something like Robitussin 12-hour cough relief, because you're going to get coughs. And when you have a cough, when you're sick, you're going to be coughing out tens of thousands of particles that can contain viruses, which can be transmitted to other persons in that. Try to avoid coughing in anybody's face. If you cough in somebody's face, the odds are 1 in 2 that they'll get the cold or flu if you have it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the holidays are coming up and many of us will be traveling. Which mode of holiday travel carries the greatest risk for sickness?
Well, in our studies, we find trains are the germiest, followed by buses, followed by airplanes. If you take a bus anywhere, your odds of getting a cold or flu are about 1 in 6, for example, or 6-fold greater, really is a better way of saying that. And if you travel a plane, maybe as many as 1 in 4 of the people on that plane will have the cold and flu virus.
Where can we get more info, Dr. Germ?
Go to Robitussin.com for more information.
All right. Stay healthy. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. Varicose veins are often considered a cosmetic issue, but did you know a lot of common leg problems could be caused by varicose veins? Dr. Jamal Wasney from United Vein Centers is here today to help us understand varicose veins better. Welcome back to Daytime, Dr.
Thank
Wasney.
you.
A lot of people have really heavy, tired, achy legs at the end of the day. What is that caused by?
It's caused by vein disease. What happens is it's usually inherited, passed on from your mother, father, or grandparents. The veins right under the skin become diseased, enlarged. When they become enlarged, they hold blood. As they hold blood, your legs start to feel heavy, they swell and ache.
What about, this happens to my mom quite a bit, she gets a Charlie horse in the middle of the night, just this cramp that wakes her out of a deep sleep. Is that vein disease?
That's a very common symptom of vein disease. What ends up happening is the blood settles in these bad veins and gets stuck. So it ends up causing a cramp. It forces you to get out of bed and walk around. That'll move the blood from these veins and you'll feel better.
Is it always obvious to the naked eye that somebody has varicose veins, or can they be under the surface and you don't know they're there, you just know you have a lot of pain?
Correct. It's not always obvious. There are a small subset of patients who have these symptoms of discomfort but do not have visible varicose veins.
What about restless leg syndrome? We hear that a lot. We hear about people going on medication to settle their legs. What could cause that?
Varicose vein disease is a very common cause of restless legs. The blood gets stuck in the bad veins, and your body, as a defense mechanism, tries to move it, so your legs shuffle and become restless.
What happens if you just avoid treating it? And you say, okay, well, I'll just use my heating pad or a cold pack or whatever I have to do, but I don't want to have to get this treated. What can happen over time?
Well, it's a disease that gets worse with time. So let's take a look at the progression of vein disease. When you take a look at the progression, it starts out with bulging veins in most cases. Then as the blood pools, you'll get swelling in the legs. After years of swelling and accumulation of blood, the skin starts to change, becomes thickened and discolored. And then lastly, the unhealthy skin starts to break down and you'll get ulcers in your legs.
So that looks like it could be really dangerous. And then once you get into that ulcer stage, what does that mean for a person? And how hard is it to fix at that point?
It can be fixed, but it is the last stage of vein disease. And those are our more severe patients, but we can help them.
So how do you go in and fix varicose veins then? Because there used to be a time when people had to get something called stripping done, and it was a really invasive procedure, and it took weeks to heal.
Correct. We've been fixing vein disease for over a century, and we've been doing it with stripping. But these days, we use sophisticated medical lasers. We no longer perform vein stripping. These sophisticated lasers are small laser fibers that are inserted into the vein just under the skin. Once they're in the vein, they actually burn the vein closed.
And you don't need those veins, obviously. There's still plenty of veins left in your legs.
Correct. These are diseased veins.
Okay, and as far as coverage for something like this?
It's a medical problem. So just as vein stripping was covered years ago, the laser procedures to remove your varicose veins and their symptoms is covered by Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and all major carriers.
And recovery is?
There's no downtime.
No downtime?
No downtime. With laser procedures, there's no downtime.
Dr. Wozni, thanks so much for telling us all about this today. You can see the dates for upcoming screenings right now on your TV screen. And for more information, you can call 1-800-VEIN-DOC or go to the website unitedveincenters.com and make your appointment today. You don't have to live with varicose veins. We'll be right back with more Daytime, so don't go away.
Are you ready for some tailgating? Tailgating expert Ryan Alessio says there are a few items you need in your pre-game survival kit.
The Generac IQ 2000 is a powerful portable generator that's perfect for a tailgate party. It's designed to deliver clean and quiet power in an easy-to-transport package. There's 3 engine speeds with turbo mode to save fuel and reduce noise.
Once you have the power up and running, you need the main course.
George Foreman's Butcher Shop's Ultimate Variety Pack feeds up to 20. The peppercorn-crusted tri-tip melts in your mouth, and the bacon-wrapped beef hot dogs are amazing. High-quality, pre-marinated meat sent right to your door. Just fire up the grill, and you're ready to party.
And how about those quick fixes?
Duck brand duct tape has always been America's favorite fix-all, but it's also perfect for tailgates. It's available in over 250 colors, designs, and licenses. And now available with officially licensed NFL team logos, it's a great way fans can stick with their team.
For more, visit the brand's website.
Thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. Who knew that Dave Bautista would be so up on his fashion knowledge?
He did a great job. He really did. He's got like a secret fashionista inside.
Well, he has to get everything custom made pretty much because of his,
his size.
very broad shoulders.
And what a good guy, a gentleman.
Sweetheart,
Just a really nice. Go see Spectre, the new James Bond movie, if you haven't, because it's really, really good.
That's right. Coming up on the next Daytime, the winner of Last Comic Standing, Clayton English, and a few other finalists are joining him.
Clayton English is a funny, funny man.
Yeah?
Yes.
You watched Last Comic?
I did watch. And,
So we're going to laugh.
We will see you on the next Daytime.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.